Good morning everyone and welcome to the class. In the previous class we have started our discussion regarding the Indo-China relationship under the chapter India's external relation, and in this regard we have seen that in 1949 People's Republic of China, that is PRC, came into existence, and India was one of the first countries to give recognition to this PRC. And not only this, what we find that our Prime Minister Nehru was very much of the opinion that India and China will be in a harmonious, will remain in a harmonious relationship, and all the effort were done for that purpose only. But we have discussed this in the previous class that the relation between the two countries started to become worse because of Tibet. Tibet was a buffer state between India and China. It was an independent country, but China believed in the policy of expansion, and under this policy we find that from 1950 China started to have its control over Tibet, and India was not supporting this act of China. In this conflict between China and Tibet, India was with the side of Tibet, because it was the opinion of India that China was without any moral and legal authority. It is trying to have its control over the country Tibet. And then we have seen that in 1954 India and China signed an agreement that was Panchasheel Agreement. Actually, this agreement, the purpose for which this agreement was done was China was not liking India's attitude towards Tibet. When India supported the independence of Tibet and it tried to persuade China not to go for Tibet, not to have its control over Tibet, then China considered it that India is interfering in the internal matter of the China. And then when all these conflicts were going on, at that time both the countries signed this Panchasheel Agreement. And this Panchasheel Agreement is based on the principle of peaceful coexistence. Peaceful coexistence means we all will live together in a peaceful manner. There should not be any kind of clash of interest. Both the countries should respect the sovereignty of each other. Both the countries should not interfere in the internal matters of each other. So now India has signed Panchasheel Agreement, and after this agreement, India changed its position in the conflict of Tibet and China. Because under this agreement, India should not interfere in the matters of in the internal matters of China, and China was considering Tibet as its internal matter. So India changed its opinion and it started to play a neutral role. But then what we saw that in 1956 the Chinese Premier Zhou Enlai visited India, and with him Dalai Lama was also visiting India, and there was talks between Dalai Lama and Pandit Nehru, and in these talks what we find that Dalai Lama has made Nehru aware of the situation that was prevailing in the Tibet. And then this is a visit of Zhou Enlai and Dalai Lama. And then what we find that during this period, what started between 1957 and 59, this is the period when China started to have its control over Aksai Chin. Aksai Chin is the region in Ladakh, that is in Jammu Kashmir. So we see that between these 2 years, 1957 and 59, China controlled Aksai Chin, started to have its control over Aksai Chin, and not only it controlled Aksai Chin, but it also started construction of a strategic road also in Aksai Chin. Even before these years, actually in 1954 there was a kind of problem arose regarding this border issue between the two countries, and what we see that around 1,20,000 kilometers, square kilometers of the area which was actually belonged to India, but in the map of China that area was shown as Chinese territory. And when the Indian side registered their dissatisfaction from this situation, they asked why this territory of India is shown in the territory of China. Then it was said by the Chinese authorities that it was just an error. It means they had started their plan from 1954, but they kept Indians, they kept the Indian political leaders, especially Nehru, in dark, and this was done very much deliberately, so that India should not think that there can be border issue between the two countries, or there can be any kind of military conflict or any kind of attack can be done by the British or by the Chinese. So we see that from 1954 there was the border issue started to rise between these two countries, and these are the periods when Aksai Chin was came in the control of China. That is a part of India. Still, China held its control over it, and over this matter there were so many discussions between the leaders of the two countries, but there was no solution to this problem because China was not ready to go back. So this is the situation, and when we were discussing Tibet in the previous class, I told you that from the year 1958 in Tibet, what started armed rebellion, that is called Lhasa rebellion against the Chinese occupation. China was China started to control Tibet, and against this Chinese control, the people of Tibet started to rebel. That was armed rebellion. And in this armed rebellion, the rebellion was crushed brutally, but India got involved in this rebellion. How? Because in 1959 we see that Dalai Lama with his followers crossed the border and asked for asylum, and our Indian government gave asylum to the Dalai Lama, and this grant of asylum was seen as by the Chinese authorities in bad faith. They considered it was the opinion of Mao Zedong that India was supporting this armed rebellion in Tibet, and they were saying that as India has given political asylum to Dalai Lama, it was the proof that India is supporting the armed rebellion. So in this way we see that both the things are going on together. On the one hand, there is relation is getting worse because of Tibet, and on the other hand, border issue is also going to escalate. So this is the situation. We see that from the year 1959, minor military conflicts, which is called skirmish, also started to take place between the two countries, and in these minor conflicts, through these minor conflicts, it was becoming very clear to India that it is not at all prepared for the war. And now we will see why there was a border dispute between the two countries. What was the reason for this border dispute? Regarding the border of India and China, India was of the opinion that the border issue between the two countries is not existing. Whatever border is decided by the colonial rule, that is final. But China was not of this opinion. It was not ready to accept the border which was decided by colonial rule. And the main conflict was regarding two areas. One was the western end of long Indo-China border. So one of the border dispute was regarding the western end, that is Aksai Chin. And another dispute was at the eastern end, and at western end there was Nefa. What is this Nefa? NEFA is North East Frontier Agency. Actually, it was named Northeast Frontier Agency. It was the name given to present-day Arunachal Pradesh. Actually, it's Arunachal Pradesh. So, we can see that the border issue, the major border issue between these two countries was, one was Aksai Chin and another was Arunachal Pradesh, which were an integral part of India, but China was claiming its control over these two regions. And we have seen that between 1957 and 59, China has occupied, China has got its control over Aksai Chin. And then we see that there was another issue also, and that was NEFA. Now we will consider some main issues of this war, which was not a war, it was actually China attacked India in the month of October, last week of October 1962. So first of all, we must know that India was not at all ready for the war, and this lack of readiness, this lack of preparedness was, why this lack of preparedness? There was reason behind this lack of preparedness, because our leader, especially Prime Minister Nehru, he was of the opinion that China will never attack India. Though his cabinet ministers, especially Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, was many times he sowed this type of fear that China may attack India, but Nehru was not ready to accept this, and you can understand the situation that on this Indo-China border the paramilitary forces were deployed. So it was a fault of India's foreign policy. So first thing is this. Then we have to understand the timing of the attack. China attacked in the last week of October 1962. In your first book, your first chapter, The Era of Cold War, starts with Cuban Missile Crisis. Do you remember? Cuban Missile Crisis. What was the time of this crisis? The time of this crisis was same. The crisis started in the last week of October. So this Cuban Missile Crisis was considered to be a great crisis after Second World War, because in this crisis we find that both the superpowers were face to face. There can be war between there could have been war between the two countries, between the two superpowers. So the attention of the whole world was on this Cuban Missile Crisis, and China took advantage of this situation and attacked India. So the timing was fixed. China was always ready to attack India. It has already controlled, it has already occupied a part of India, and now it was just in
it was just watching कि कब सही समय आए और इंडिया पे अटैक किया गया. तो this was the situation, and in this we see that the first wave of attack was started. First attack was done at this eastern front. Okay, and
on this front, the India's preparedness was very bad, and China was able to have its control over various parts of Arunachal Pradesh, and not only Arunachal, but we find that Chinese forces reached up to the plains of Assam. So on this front, India was totally, we can say, it was a defeat of India. And then after the first week, in the second week of the war, that is now the month of November has started, and in November 1962, China attacked on the western front. On this front, the condition of India was comparatively better. India was able to fight back, and then we see that this war ended for 1 month, 1 day long war was this, and China it surrendered from the territories of India in the after 1 month, 1 day. So China unilaterally ceasefire, and also it also withdrew its troops from the Indian territory, and now it positioned its troop at that place where they were before the attack. So in this regard, one more thing which must be understood, that the main intention of China to attack India was not the border issue. The main aim was to tarnish the image of Nehru, to humiliate Nehru, because Nehru was emerging as the leader of third world countries, as he contributed a lot in the starting of non-aligned movement. Then Afro-Asian unity was also started by him. The efforts for the unity of African and Asian countries were also done by Nehru. So this attack was aimed at tarnishing the image of Nehru, and it was really a great setback, not only for Nehru but for the whole country. India faced humiliation in the world, in the whole world, and the condition of India was so bad that during the last days of the war, India had to ask for military aid from US and UK. In this war of Indochina, we see that Soviet Union has remained neutral. Though India adopted non-aligned movement, India started non-aligned movement, and India was one of the most important countries of non-aligned movement, still we know that India was tilted towards Soviet Union, but in this war, Soviet Union remained neutral. So India has to ask for military aid from USA and UK, and it was a great humiliation. And what we find that many military officers has to resign, and or they have been retired by the government. And in this regard, we see that B.K. Menon, who was the then defense minister of India, he also has to resign from his post because of this because of the defeat we faced in the war. And now we will see that this war, this attack of China was very much, this war of attack of China went very much against the personality of Nehru. It was the नेहरू की हम कह सकते हैं इसको कि it was not Nehru was not able to understand the Chinese intention, and accordingly he did not pay attention towards the military preparedness of the country. And because of this, what we find that for the first time in the Lok Sabha, vote of no confidence motion was presented before the a vote of no confidence motion was presented against the Nehru government, Nehru ministry. And we also find that after this war, so many by-elections were held, and in these by-elections Congress has to face defeat, because now the people, the public opinion was against Congress. People were considering, people were blaming Congress for the defeat of the country at the hands of China. So this is Indo-China war, and one of the major consequence we can say is this Indo-China war has its consequence on the political parties also. On the political parties of India, we see that this attack has its consequence. Because we see that on the one hand, there was war between India and China, and on the other hand we see that Sino-Soviet relation was also becoming sour, and there also border dispute arose. And because of this, Sino is for China. I told you earlier also when we were studying South Asia, in that chapter I told you Sino is for China. So in this conflict of China and Soviet, what happened that CPI, Communist Party of India, this there was two factions in CPI. One faction was supporting China and the other faction was supporting Soviet Union. Okay, so and further we see that because of Indo-China war, there was another impact, another consequence on the Communist Party of India. So the faction of Communist Party of India, which was pro-Soviet, that faction started to have closer ties with Congress Party. So the pro-Soviet faction of Communist Party of India was also pro-Congress, and the other faction which was supporting China, that faction was against Congress. Okay, so these two are related to each other in a way, and these two are, China के साथ जो faction था वो कांग्रेस के against था. And later we see that during the war 1962,
what happened that the leaders of this faction, which was supporting China, were under the focus of the government. The government arrested many leaders of this faction because of their supporting view, their supporting attitude towards China. As the country was in war with China, so many leaders were arrested, and then we find that after the war, in the year 1964, this Communist Party of India was divided, and the CPIM, the original CPI remained like this only, and the faction which was supporting China, it break away from the Communist Party, and it is known as CPIM. So this is all for today, and now we will discuss other topics in the next class.